Hello, everyone. Welcome to YPC Media's monthly webinar series. Thank you all for joining us here today. We're going to get started. My name is Danielle Henderson. I'm the Vice President of YPC Media, and I will also be your moderator today as we discuss our top 5 social media secrets. Here with me today is Katie Fitzgerald. Katie is the Director of Marketing and Operations here at YPC Media. She has overseen all of our social media efforts internally and externally for the last 5 years, and she plays a key role in the strategy and implementation of all of our marketing efforts. Her background in social media does not stop there. She's been working in the field since 2016, and her experience at companies like Chico's, Dick's Sporting Goods, and the Pennsylvania Lottery have given her a lot of insight and experience with businesses of all sizes and at various stages of the game. She's Blueprint certified and is always staying on top of today's hottest trends. Her true passion lies in helping business owners learn how to use social media to grow their brand and their business, which is what we hope to do with you here today. Today's format has been created to give you both information and actionable items that you can use immediately after ending the webinar. We've left 10 minutes at the end for questions, so please do not hesitate to throw those questions in there throughout the webinar, and we will answer them at the end. Also, for some fun, we have some polls so that we can learn a little bit more about you and where you currently are in your social media journeys. With that, I think it's time to get started. Katie, let's spill the tea. What's our first secret?
Yeah, thanks, Danielle, for the introduction. So we're going to take you guys through a couple of my social media secrets here. And to waste no time at all, we're going to get right into the first one. So the first one seems really obvious, but it's about optimization. So it's going to be the key to your success on social media. So I have 3 main pillars here that go along with optimization. So the first one is, what platform should you be on? Do you even know if you currently have your business on these? What do you use personally? And making sure you know with that. You also want to know where your target market is. So for your business, what personas are on which platforms and which ones make most sense for your business to be on. And then, of course, your branding. You need to make sure that you look good on there, that everything is sized appropriately and consistent across all of those. And I know, Danielle, you had a poll going out here about some of the platform usages.
And I just published the results. Most voted, Facebook is where people think their target market primarily lives. So let's find out if they're right.
All right. So we put together a quick visual for you guys to talk about personas. So knowing which channel, has different demographics. I went age category here because I think that's really the biggest tell of where your target market may be. A lot of people break it down by age. So Facebook's going to be heavy millennials, Gen X, and boomers. I think we all know that. A lot of Gen Z, I know, don't even have Facebook anymore. So that's really telling. Instagram is the top in millennials right now. So that's, your 30s to 40-year-olds. And then YouTube is heavy Gen Z, which I've always been a little surprised at that. I say younger kids are on there, younger than me anyway. On LinkedIn, it's going to be your older millennials. The interesting thing here that I did include for you guys is that minimum education on LinkedIn is typically a bachelor's degree. So that's going to be really heavy for professionals, maybe business to consumer type businesses on there. TikTok, very hot topic right now. Gen Z, young millennials. I think the young millennials are just, kind of the wannabes on the platform now. And then Snapchat categorizes down to Gen Z and even to young teens. You only have to be 12 years old to be on Snapchat, which is, a very different tool at this point. But understanding these categories will really help you identify where you need to be. It may seem overwhelming that maybe you feel like you need to have your handle and everything everywhere, which can be helpful, but you really want to focus where your target market's going to be. The next thing is, what do I optimize? So really the key things here are these 3 things on the screen. Your profile images. When someone comes and views your profile or they see you in the feed, they want to make sure that your logo looks okay in that profile image and they can easily recognize your brand. So if your logo is not resized appropriately, it's too zoomed in or cropped off, it does come across a little messy to the consumer. The second thing being cover images. So those are going to be when someone does come to your profile, mostly relevant for your LinkedIn, your Facebook. You want those to look nice. Sometimes it's just an image, but sometimes you're going to have a call to action there. So sometimes you can have your phone number, something that really looks nice at the top of your profile. And then of course your bio. So you're going to want really your elevator pitch is what I always recommend to be here. You only have a few sentences. Characters do vary based on the platform that you're on. So you need to get across what you do in the shortest amount of words in there and have that be consistent across all your profiles so that anywhere that users are finding you, your brand comes across very clean and put together. And I think that's the end of the first secret here. So I want to switch over to secret number 2, which is the key to thumb stopping content. And I don't know if I created this word thumb stopping, but I've used it since I've started in marketing at this point or in social media. And really what I mean is if you think about when you're scrolling on your phone, right, you're swiping through with your thumb. A lot of us just do that mindless scrolling. What gets somebody to stop their thumb and actually look at something on the screen? Typically, it's something engaging, a video, a good call to action, a good graphic. But how do we develop that type of content? And how do we do that as a small business owner where you might not have access to graphic designers, video professionals all the time? And the biggest tip that I hope you all get out of here today and go look up is Canva. If you don't have it, haven't heard of it, go to canva.com. I feel like I'm their spokesperson, but I swear I don't get paid by them. And you need to download it and take a look around there. They have thousands of templates that help you create really well put together branded content. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but also knowing what to post, what content works on each platform. I want to dive into that a little bit and then give you guys a couple starter ideas so that you can leave here today, go on to Canva and get started on a couple posts that you can do right now.
And Katie, for you, we did the poll and 83% of the people here have used Canva for their business. The other 16% either voted no or they've never heard of it. So,
all right. Well,
opportunity.
Yeah, definitely go check it out if you haven't already. If you have heard of it, make sure you really utilize this tool. There's so many things coming out in Canva right now that are going to just continually make this area of your business easier for you. So with Canva, you can see I made a great video here for you guys, just showing you a quick glimpse of some of the graphics that you can create, but you can see this is on your phone. So this is something that you can do while you're on your phone at night, wrapping up after a long day, and be able to create professionally branded content right on your phone. You can upload your photos, you can search different templates and make them into your brand's look and feel. And you can actually post directly out of Canva as well. So it's definitely a really big asset to you if you are somebody that's going to do it yourself. The next thing is knowing what to post. So as we look at all the channels that I've mentioned already, I just want to scroll through a few of them and kind of give you an idea of things that you should be posting on these channels. So a lot of you say that your target market is on Facebook. That's going to be your biggest spot for photos, links. It's okay to be a little salesy on Facebook. I know some of you that maybe have been in social media or maybe have worn that hat at one point. It is very easy to put, it's been a taboo thing to put salesy messages on there, but it is okay. If you have a great promotion or you guys hit a great mark, you want to be able to share that. But being able to share information, photos about your team, your office are going to be really important on Facebook. Over on Instagram, it turns a little more educational. People are starting to watch reels and stories more than just regular posts in their newsfeed. So being able to educate without giving away all your, secret sauce, as we say here at YPC, you want to be able to give a little bit something intriguing enough to get them to engage with your brand. Over on YouTube, you have your long form video content. So that's going to be even further deep dives into things like that. Today's webinar will go up on YouTube, for instance, so a little longer format. Q&A explanations are great on YouTube. Over on LinkedIn, you're going to want to really share more about your company culture and really focus heavily on your team's success, your accomplishments, core values, employment opportunities. Like I was showing, bachelor degree and higher, if that is your area of people that you hire in your office. If you're somebody that does a lot of hiring, the LinkedIn is going to be really great to be able to display what goes on behind the scenes at your company. And then of course, TikTok is going to be really heavy in entertainment, educational trends, and a lot of humor. I think it makes a lot of us laugh, an endless time of scrolling, but there is definitely a time and place for TikTok. It's becoming a huge search engine. So as we get further into some of the secrets, we'll talk more about that. But as far as starter ideas, things that you guys could do right now is share reviews. I think it's anybody that has talked to me about social media, it's my first suggestion. If you're a customer of YPCs, you know that your account manager talks to you about this every month or every quarter about getting reviews into your business. It's so important to be able to ask your customer to share their feedback. It's great internally, but it's also good to share and give a recommendation to somebody that might be your next customer. So really your goal should be to be getting at least one per week and being able to share that on your social media channels. You could go into Canva and search templates and review templates, and you'll be able to put something together in under 5 minutes, even for a beginner. So that's a really low hanging fruit that you could get going on right away. Depending on your industry, you're going to want to be able to share case studies or maybe before and after photos of your service. So being able to share what you can actually do and showing the success is very, very important. And it does sound easier said than done. So sometimes I know it's hard to gather that data if you are more of a case study type of industry, but it's so compelling to your audience and it's going to drive engagement on your social media channels. The last two kind of go together. So sharing your team highlights and your community involvement. So being able to show the world per se on social media, what your business is about, what you stand for, how you're helping in your community is going to be great. It's also going to help in the algorithm. So I know I'll get talking about algorithms a little bit, but being able to show that you are involved in your local community and that you are a local business is going to be really important to get you shown on social media. All right, and on to secret number 3. So third one is post times matter. So there's a lot of debating in the social media world about what time should I be posting? Is there a secret? And there is, and there isn't. So it's not going to be a cut and dry solution here. But the two things I want to focus on are your followers and reaching them. And then, yes, that time to post. When is the most appropriate time to post?
And I do have a poll out there, Katie, trying to figure out when everyone on this call likes to scroll their social media. So please let us know.
Yes, definitely let us know. So I think the biggest thing here is you may have a ton of followers, you may have not a lot of followers. The hard part to digest with Facebook and Instagram is that only 5 to 10% of your followers are going to see your organic posts. So that's a really low number. And Facebook, sometimes some reports even show less than 5%. So you're working so hard to get this content out there. You have to be doing it in order to be relevant. But it's really hard to drive that engagement and views. So obviously posting at certain times of day when your users are online is going to help because the algorithm does favor newer content. So it is important to continuously post, but you need to keep in the back of your mind that you are creating this content for about 5% of your followers. The goal is that you want somebody to come in and follow your brand, but you want them to engage and you want to get out to new audiences. It is less and less important to have followers these days. You used to be able to pay for followers back in the day. You still can a little bit right now. It's just not as highly recommended. But because you're still only seeing, you could pay for those followers and still you only get 5% of them to see your organic post on a day-to-day basis. So that's where, paid advertising comes in, and some little tricks like we're learning today are going to be helpful to get in front of those audiences. So overall, the best times to post, this is a report put out from Hootsuite, which is a social media scheduling tool and a social media management tool. They did studies across multiple platforms, and these are the dates and times that they've put out that are the hottest points of, most users online, most engagement happening. So I'll keep focusing on Facebook since a lot of you seem to be on Facebook and where your target market may be.
Interestingly, Katie, they are on Facebook, but the people on this call are clearly on TikTok and because it's late night and all the time. So
Okay, great. Well, and I think that's where some of this looks like, I don't think that could be right, but if you look at TikTok, 7 p.m. on Thursdays seems to be the hottest time for engagement and posting. So getting into that late night at 7 p.m., I don't really know if I consider that late night, but maybe in my household that's turning into late night. So looking at that, but over on Facebook, it's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. So maybe before some people are going to work. So times do vary. There's not one across the board. Like you can see, people are jumping from different channels. And again, based on where your target market is, you're going to want to, adjust that. But some of these tools can help. They're not going to be what sets you over the edge to go viral for sure. All right, so on to secret number 4. We want to maximize your efforts. So when I say maximize your efforts, we want to be able to cross promote being the first thing. So what I mean by that is showing your social channels across everywhere that you're online, having your Facebook, Instagram hooked up to your Google page, your website, are going to be vital because you want to make sure that those people can find you. You're also going to want to be able to use Facebook to say, hey, I'm over on Instagram. If you're over on Instagram, follow us. Hey, Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and being able to use those to get your audience on different pieces, because as you do start making content for each channel, you're going to want the user to see that different content based on each channel. Your website is going to be huge for this. I've seen so many websites that don't link properly to their social media channels, and it definitely hurts your business. If you have a homepage, have a website, you should have all of your channels linked and make sure that they work. There is a lot of times where those are up in your header or down in your footer, and they just link to facebook.com and they don't actually go to your profile. So make sure that you are double checking that and that they work, because a lot of the people that are finding your website, they're going to go check out your social media pages for more photos to really see what your business is about. And we're talking a lot about digital marketing right now, but we have to talk about your traditional marketing or your in-person marketing, your print materials. You're going to want to start using your social media handles on that as well, whether that's your handle. If you all are familiar with QR codes, I think COVID made everyone familiar with a QR code. So using that QR code to get people to your social media channels is great, so that when they interact with you, whether that be in an event, out in the community, that's something that they can continue to engage with your brand from there. So being able to have that everywhere and really leaning into it as an additional tool to be in front of your audience is going to be super, super important.
And everyone, please share your social handles. We will follow you and engage with your content to help some of this engagement and cross marketing. So put it in the Q&A and YPC will follow you.
And we're going to go on to our final secret here, which I've been alluding to, but how do we beat the algorithm? So there are countless ways that you can think about the algorithm. Unfortunately, no social media network has released their algorithm and what they prioritize. There's so many different theories out there. So remember, we're going to be giving you some ideas today on how we can beat that algorithm. And the biggest thing that I want you all to take away from today is to be consistent. We want you to have branded, relevant content that goes up on a regular basis on the channels that you choose. That's going to help every aspect of what you're working on, from SEO to building retention within your customer base, and really filling the top of your funnel and being aware of your brand in your local area. And I want to give you guys a couple tools as well that are going to help you, whether that's create content, be consistent, and get around those. And I don't think we can have any webinar nowadays without talking about AI. So using AI to generate your content, being able to post ahead of time, and just a couple time savers for you all. So with some of the tools, obviously AI, most of you have used ChatGPT. If you guys tuned into our webinar last month, we talked about some of the differences between Gemini, ChatGPT, a couple of them that are out there now. But we want to make sure that we're leaning into these tools, and especially with social media, it can be so overwhelming to come up with post ideas that you can actually just ask your ChatGPT what you should post. So I put a little example here of, can you give me 4 post ideas for my insurance agency to post on social media? Now, it's going to generate a couple things. Some of them are going to seem very basic or obvious, but it is going to help you develop that strategy a little bit more and start being able to have posts that you can plan out ahead of time. You can see there too, I just asked it for 3 tips and tricks. So one of the ideas it gave me was, give a tip or trick about insurance. And I'm going to say, okay, well, what are those tips and tricks? I don't need to come up with them. I could ask AI to come up with them for me. Of course, you need to QA everything. What I mean by QA is check it out and double check what they're telling you is accurate. You're going to be the professional. This is your aid. So making sure that you can, one, fact check everything is going to be very important. Also humanize it. So there are some tools out there that you can, now take ChatGPT's information and put it in a humanizer AI that's going to basically just put some, layman's terms or some slang into it to make it really seem like someone did write it. It's also going to, if you do use ChatGPT, that every time that you put something, it's giving you emojis now. So being able to use ones that don't look like ChatGPT wrote it for you, but being able to utilize this to your advantage and help it with time saving. Really, it's going to be your biggest thing. Another tool that's great is being able to schedule your content out. So sometimes, you're planning a post for next Monday and, Monday 5 p.m. rolls around and you're like, I forgot to post that. So being able to use a scheduling tool is going to be super important. If you do log into Canva and upgrade to Pro, they do offer some scheduling services right in there. We partner with Sendable, which is a great tool, but there are tons of free trials for social media scheduling tools. If you are a customer, you can ask your account manager about some of those and what we use and how we could set you up. But they're really, really time saving. You can have access to them on your phone, and it really helps you implement your strategy and really be consistent.
And Katie, for the ChatGPT question, we wanted to know how many people have actually used it already to generate content for their business. We have a 75% said yes and 25% said no, but hopefully just watching this video right here gives those no's some ideas on how to get started after the webinar today.
Great. Yeah. And these are all tools, remember, you can use on your phone, nothing too difficult, but things that you could start testing in your free time. So we talked a lot about all sorts of secrets today. I want to really focus on now, how am I going to implement that? How am I going to actually be able to do all of this? So you do have a couple options. One being you can do it on your own, of course. You can expect, and this is me speaking from experience, just talking about implementing YPC's strategy on social media, you can expect about 5 to 10 hours a week developing, planning, and executing that social media plan. And I say here, doing it properly, actually getting posts out daily and good content and engaging content and engaging with your audience as well. That's one option, is being able to do it on your own if you have the time to do so. One's leaning on your team. If you have a Gen X or a millennial in the office, a lot of them can wear this hat. They know your business. You have direct access to them. There's somebody that's involved in your day-to-day. And then your third option is to outsource, of course. You're going to be able to go to an agency, someone like YPC, an outside professional. You're going to get a lower monthly costs probably at that rate, but they may not know your business as well. And be, that extension in your office. So it's definitely, an option to, get it off your plate so that you can keep running your business. So of course, we do have to talk about what social media plans YPC Media has. So we have options to do this for you, anywhere from posting once a week to daily posting. We have both generic content, custom content that we can do. We have Blueprint certified professionals in-house, graphic designers, video editors that help create all of your content. And then if you are somebody that's leaning towards a DIY, this is something that you can handle in-house. We do have a program called Social Suite. It's a one-time setup consultation where we actually train you on Canva or your team on Canva, get you set up with branded materials, and actually offer a free year's worth of content ideas to really get you started, get you set up on those scheduling tools, and really allow you to hit the ground running. So if you are interested in setting up a consultation, talking to your account manager to learn more about any of these, you guys can scan that QR code and look at any of those options for you and what makes sense for your business.
Awesome, Katie. Thank you for the top 5 secrets. I hope you guys learned a little something, but we do have a few questions that came in both before and during. So the first question that we'd like to answer is, I know consistency is important, but how much is too much?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So, I'm talking about posting every single day. There is overkill for sure. We talked about, only 5% of your audience are seeing it. And if you're going to put in a ton of effort into that content, you want to make sure people are engaging with it. If you're getting no views, no impressions, you may want to tune it back. Or you could be overkilling your client base, and so that they're just skipping all of your content because you're posting so frequently and it's not relevant to them. So making sure that your content is relevant to your audience and stuff that they want to share, want to engage with is going to help you. Just posting any old content with no strategy behind it is going to be overkill.
Makes a lot of sense. Next up is, how does your social media help your SEO?
Yeah. So SEO, is your local search, how you're showing up in different search engines. And I'll probably talk most about Google because I think that's most relevant here. But I think I had mentioned before, TikTok is becoming one of the largest search engines up there with Google now, as is Facebook and Instagram. They're their own search engines. So if you are not on those channels, you're missing out on possible searches. But things like Google, Microsoft, they are pulling, all of your information across the web. So these are just additional links that you are on that have your name, address, phone number consistent on. So having that consistency is going to help you show up higher in search.
Thank you. I know that that's a thing that people are constantly asking. We didn't just get it today. It's a question we get a lot because we focused on search engine optimization for so long, but the role that social media is now playing in that is kind of crazy when you think about it. I think we have time for one more question, and that will be, are there other tools besides Canva that you recommend using?
Yeah. So depending on what you're trying to do, Canva is going to be your spot for, basic graphic design, some of that. There are tons of AI tools coming out that help you with design. So there are many video editing tools, things like that. A lot of them you can find with a basic Google search. Some other tools that I did already mention that I'll reiterate are scheduling tools. So Canva offers one. Sendable, I gave a stat from Hootsuite, is probably the most well-known social media management scheduling tool out there. A lot of them do have free trials, especially if you're just running one office or one business. So you definitely want to use some of those, as well as, I think the biggest tool you can use is the social media channels themselves. Make sure that you're searching your competitors, in your industry, so that you're understanding what people are posting in your industry. Not that you want to copy them. You want to be your own individual self on there and really show your business, but you should be really aware of what is and see what's working. Are they getting likes on their posts? Is it just all flopping, and being able to use that to propel yourself forward?
Awesome. Well, everyone, that is about the time that we have for today. Thank you again for joining us. If you have additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to either Katie or I, put in a request through YPC Media. We'd love to answer any and all of your questions. Also, like Katie said, if you want a free marketing consultation or want someone on our team to look at your current social media presence and analyze where you could go next, we would be happy to do so. Again, we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Thank you, Katie, for giving us all your tips and tricks today. I hope everyone has something that they can take back and implement in their business as soon as we get off this call. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.